Hi, everybody. It's Liz with Cognomovement. And I want to ask you a question. Is there something about money that you would like to change in your life? So immediately people go to, yeah, I would like more of it. And that's true. We all do. But is there something about it? Do you have fear of not having enough? I once had a friend say that they'd rather die than be poor. That's a pretty big fear and a real one. Do you tend to overspend and then feel guilty about it? Do you have a pattern of spending that feels maybe a little obsessive compulsive? Are you very, very stingy with money to the point where you drive your family nuts? Do you know that you have money that you could use but are afraid to use it? Are you in a business where it feels like somebody turned off the faucet? There's just not enough flowing in. But that's a pretty common one right now with the situation that the country is in. And yet, some people have money flowing like a river coming. So it's not necessarily economy specific, but have you been trying in this business for a while and you know that money should be coming and it just isn't? So is there a pattern in your life around money that if you could simply change that pattern, that one thing, what would it mean to your life? So if you're that person who actually has some money saved, money in the bank, and you are just so terrified to spend it that everybody thinks you're a little bit of a Grinch, what would it mean to those people in your life if you could be more relaxed, maybe even more reasonable about what you really have and what's available? What would that mean to you? What would it mean to them? What would it mean to you if you had money flowing in on a regular basis that was very, very stable? Would that keep you feeling comfortable and confident around your money situation? So, all of these questions are about patterns in our lives that are created somewhere in our lives where we learn about money. If you had a family member, a mom or dad, that would say, oh, you nickel and dime me to death, right? Well, a kid hears that and their nervous system actually picks that up. Well, you don't want to nickel and dime your parents to death. That's no good. And maybe a joke on the parents' part, but it actually kind of gets in to that person's nervous system. And then there's some fear about money and debt. Now, it's not rational. And if you guys have seen it before, you'll notice this. It's not in the logical mind. It's not, it's in the body. And the body can't help it. The body wants to keep a person safe. So they're not going to nickel and dime someone to death. Or maybe you had somebody like my dad. My dad would joke and always say, oh, we're poor people. We don't have enough toilet paper. I don't know what his deal was with toilet paper, but it occurred to me when I was older that we were not poor people. And it used to make my mom so mad. But there was something about him that liked to say that. So did it ingrain in some of us kids that heard that maybe we were poor and we need to do something about that? My point is that we hear things, we see things, we experience things that start a pattern in our nervous system that aren't exactly what we want our logical mind to believe about money. So if you could change your belief about money, what would that mean to you? And what does it actually do? So I've heard so many money things about changing your belief. Well, if you change your belief, what happens? Well, you feel better about it. You can. That's true. And you can think more clearly about it. That's true. But what if you could actually clear it from not only your nervous system, but from your own field of potential? What would that mean for your life? So we don't realize how amazingly powerful we are, and that every time our nervous system runs a pattern, it's electromagnetic and chemical, it actually just informs our field of potential. People around us feel it. We feel each other all the time. We know what other people are thinking and feeling. Our family members know our pattern and then they act accordingly as well, feeding back into that pattern. So when we're able to change one pattern in our bodies, and if that pattern were around money, that pattern no longer exists and it no longer fills our field of potential. And then that field of potential around money, around that one subject, is now open and available to change. Think about this. How long has that one pattern been running in your body, in your life? How long have you had this one opinion, this one attitude, and the one action around money? And what would it mean to you if you could literally clear that out of not only your mind, but your body and your own field of potential? Well, I'll tell you, for so many of us, what it has meant is that money comes from all over the place. Do you remember the film, The Secret? Many of us saw it. And it was this first idea about law of attraction. And since then, we've all suffered about law of attraction. The reason it's been so hard is we didn't understand we had to clear it out of our bodies. We kept thinking we had to clear it out of our minds, and that's true. But our bodies run these electromagnetic, hormonal, chemical patterns. They do it to keep us safe, but they run them, and those actually express like a radio signal, like a beacon. And if it's saying I don't have enough money, then that's what goes out into the system. I don't have enough money. And eventually, the law of inertia gives us back to that with equal and opposite force of you don't have enough money. But when we can change that, when we can shift it around and actually now be clear in our nervous, our biological, electromagnetic, hormonal system where enough money is obviously possible and even more than that is possible. Now that's what fills our electromagnetic field. And not only that, now our logical mind can think about money clearly, free from anybody else's pattern, free from what we've heard, free from what we've been taught, free from what we've been scared into. Now what we decide to create around money is ours, our own clear pattern. And when you're able to clear one of these patterns, you get the energy back. And that energy is so freeing. You're so free not to have that same worry day in and day out. And if that's the pattern for you, that you're worried constantly about money, then that's what you're going to get back is more worry about money. It's a vicious cycle. And it's certainly not our fault. We don't know where we pick these things up. We just know that it is a natural part of our nervous system to start a pattern, a protective pattern around things that it thinks are important, like nickel and diming somebody to death. So what do you do about it? So Cognomovement is the tool that we use at the Cognomovement systems. You guys have seen this funny little ball. But what we do with it is we actually change the patterns in the body. We challenge them with all kinds of neurological patterning and movements and language. It's layers and layers and layers of ways that guarantee that the nervous system cannot hold on to an old pattern anymore. And when it does, when it lets it go, that energy just floods back into your system because that pattern has a huge cost in your overall horsepower and energy. So it's one of the things that Cognomovement users do a lot is delete patterns around money because they hold us back so much. So this week, this Wednesday night, the 9th, we are starting our cleanup series for December's cleanup, so that when you hit January, you're not on the same old pattern of New Year's resolution, you're actually already there. You're clear. You're on your way. So Wednesday night starts the money cleanup. We are going to run full Cogno movement sessions to clear out every pattern that you may have around money. We're going to do it through the body. We're going to use our ball. We're going to work it out and in the moment feel that energy return. So you don't have to wait for the results. You're going to feel that energy return to the body. And you'll have brand new ideas about how to move forward with money that are now yours, clear from everybody else's, clear from the past. I want to cut the past off, leave it behind, and move forward absolutely untethered from those old patterns. Does that sound good to you? Does it sound like something you'd be interested in doing? Moving forward fully untethered by the past around ideas from the past around money? If so, come to cognomovement.com, the events, and sign up for Wednesday night. Now, if you want to do all three, we're doing money, relationships, and cravings, food, because you know at the end of the holidays, you're going to want to be on a diet again. We don't want you to do that. We want you to be free from that now and just soar into 2021 fresh and clear and full of energy and directing your own path, no longer tied down by old stuff, old patterns. So if you want to join all three, there's a $50 discount if you do that. Or if you want to take one at a time, that's great. And if you just want to come for Wednesday night for that money one, I highly recommend it. You know, I've done it myself. Bill's done it himself. It makes a huge difference in how you feel, think, and act around money. And it makes a huge difference in what's in your bank account at the end of the month. So you're invited. I welcome you. Please RSVP, sign up for the class, and let us know you're going to be there early. If you have any questions, respond to this video. Ask. Come on to Facebook. Ask us your questions there. Reply to this email. Ask us here. We're here for you. We want to know what you're thinking about money and about patterns and about really making real change. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Bill will be there too. We'll be ready to get rid of those patterns and make 2021 actually for real this time your best year ever. Talk soon. Bye, everyone.